Right now, somewhere in your house, there is a small black circle staring at you. You probably haven't looked at it in weeks. It's on your laptop, maybe on your phone, propped up on the nightstand, maybe on a tablet, still logged into everything you own. You trust it, not because you checked it, but because you never had a reason to. Tonight, that's going to change, because somewhere between 2010 and 2014, over 500,000 people trusted that same small black circle. And they were wrong. 500,000. Not a phishing email, not a data leak, not a password sold on some forum you'll never visit. 500,000 people who were being watched in their bedrooms, in their living rooms, while changing clothes, while sleeping, while sitting, exactly where you're sitting right now. And here's the part that should bother you more than the number itself. Almost none of them knew. Think about that for a second. If someone broke into your house, you'd know. A window would be open, a door unlocked, something out of place. This wasn't that. There was no broken window, no forced entry, nothing missing, just a camera, quietly doing something it was never supposed to do, while its owner sat 2 feet away, completely unaware they had an audience. So how do 500,000 people get watched, and not one alarm goes off? You're probably thinking about the light right now. The little green or yellow dot next to your camera lens. That's supposed to be the fail-safe, the one thing that can't lie to you. If it's off, you're safe. If it's on, you'd notice. That's what 500,000 people believed. The light did not turn on, not because it broke, not because anyone unscrewed it or covered it with tape, because whoever was behind the camera never let it turn on in the first place. The fail-safe wasn't broken. It was never real to begin with. Some of the people watching back weren't professionals. They weren't shadowy hacking collectives in hoodies, typing in dark rooms. Some of them were teenagers. Some of the people being watched were teenagers too. Some were younger than that. No names, no faces, month after month, spread across more than 100 countries, while nobody on the other side of the glass knew a thing. So how does this actually happen? How does someone end up inside your camera without ever touching your device? It usually starts with something small, a link, a file, a download that looks like a photo or a game, or something a friend supposedly sent you. You click it. Nothing happens. No error message, no crash, no red flag. The file just disappears, like it was never there, except it wasn't nothing. Something just installed itself, quietly, permanently. And it wasn't going to announce itself, because the entire design was that you'd never know it was there. From that moment, someone on the other side of the world could see your screen, read what you typed, turn on your microphone, and turn on your camera, without the light, without a sound, without you ever knowing to look. Now here's the detail that should genuinely unsettle you. You'd expect something this invasive to be expensive, the kind of tool only a government or an elite hacking group could build or afford. It cost $40, less than a dinner out, less than a pair of shoes, less than most people spend without thinking twice. And you didn't need to know how to code. You didn't need to understand a single line of programming. You clicked, you installed, and you pointed it at a target. Thousands of completely ordinary people, on ordinary internet connections, in ordinary houses, in ordinary neighborhoods, possibly one near you. People who, during the day, were students, co-workers, neighbors. That's the part true crime stories don't want you to sit with. Inside the communities where this software was traded, there was a word people used for the computers, and by extension, the people they'd gained access to. They called them slaves. Eventually, it caught up with them. It took years of quiet investigation before anyone in law enforcement fully understood. But once they did, they moved all at once, in a single coordinated sweep, across more than a dozen countries. On nearly the same day, doors were kicked in, computers seized, ordinary-looking people in ordinary houses arrested in front of their families, their neighbors, people who likely had no idea what was happening 2 doors down. Almost 100 arrests, 16 countries, 1 week. Question. Nobody likes to answer out loud. 500,000 computers were compromised. Fewer than 100 people were arrested. Do the math on that for a second and let it actually land. That's not a resolution. That's a fraction of a fraction. Somewhere out there, the overwhelming majority of the people who bought access to somebody else's camera were never identified, never caught, never even named. They just went quiet. And quiet doesn't mean gone, because tools like this didn't disappear. They evolved. New versions, new names. It's a story that's still being written right now, on ordinary laptops, in ordinary houses, maybe one a lot like yours. So here's where this leaves you. Tonight, someone is going to fall asleep with their laptop open on the bed beside them. And somewhere, someone is going to glance at that little light on their camera and think, if something was wrong, that light would warn me. Maybe they're right. Or maybe that's exactly what 500,000 people thought too. You don't have to believe you're being watched right now. You just have to ask yourself one question before you close this video and go to sleep. How would you actually know if you were?